Hello and welcome back to the Mortgage Corner. Today we'll be going over a crucial topic for anyone who's thinking about buying a home now or in the near future, and that is the mortgage process itself. It's super important to know what you should be expecting from your lender, what they expect from you, so that no one is blindsided, it's a smooth process, and you're as stress-free as possible. This video will give a comprehensive overview of all the things you can expect in your mortgage process. So let's start with a high-level view of the mortgage process. Step 1, preparation and research. It's absolutely crucial that you know your financial situation before you get involved with a lender and you start the whole process. That involves checking your credit score so you kind of know what you're getting into there. If you know that you're going to need to work on it, you can always talk to your lender right out of the gate that you know you're going to have to get some repairing done and it's not in the place you'd like it to be. Getting your down payment figured out, what you want to do for that. Just kind of figuring out what your budget is, and a lender can help you if you have no clue, but it's at least good to know what you have in your accounts, where your credit's at, and kind of a broad picture so that you can go in feeling more prepared when the lender starts asking you these kinds of questions. Step number 2, loan pre-approval. Getting pre-approved is super important because it helps you know exactly kind of what your price range is and what sort of houses you should be looking at. In order to get this, usually you will talk to your lender, they'll have you fill out an application of sorts, they'll take a look at your W-2s, your bank statements, your pay stubs, and maybe depending on your situation, some other documents as well. And that helps them just verify all the information you're giving is accurate, and sometimes maybe they're even able to help you boost up that income more or find ways to kind of work it even better in your favor. And then usually once they get that number figured out, they'll tell you, hey, you can afford, X amount of money, and here's a pre-approval letter, and then this is something you can take to your realtor, and it's something they put in your offer to make it look all that much stronger. And then also the sellers know, hey, they're already approved for this amount, so we know their financing shouldn't fall through, assuming it continues to move along smoothly through the process. Step number 3, house hunting. Now comes the exciting part, looking at homes. Usually this looks like you going around with your realtor, going to open houses, and just checking out the different homes that fit within that pre-approval letter you got from your lender earlier. Once you find a home you like, you'll put in an offer with your real estate agent, and then if that's accepted, you get to move on to the next step. It's very important to stay in touch with your lender during this whole time, and your realtor often will keep them involved as well. That way they know exactly what you're looking at and they can keep your numbers up to date, because if you got approved for a certain amount, but the house you're looking at is less, maybe you just kind of want to know what your monthly payment's at, and the lender can kind of keep you appraised of how you're looking, what it's looking like, and the exact amounts you need to be doing as far as like down payment or whatever, just to make it work the best for you. So it's important to keep them in the loop. Step number 4, underwriting. This is where the mortgage process really kicks into high gear. The lender will work through all the paperwork you've already given him. They'll take a look at the property as well and just make sure everything fits into their criteria. Make sure that everything checks all the boxes that the loan program you're using has laid out for them. Oftentimes they'll need some more documents or updated documents depending on how much time has passed from your pre-approval to when your offer was accepted. Maybe they'll need new pay stubs or a new bank statement, something like that. And depending on the loan program, sometimes other things are required as well, and they'll often reach out to your employer just to verify your employment there. Sometimes they look at rental history. There's all kinds of different things that may come up, so it's really important to be responsive and to answer your lender quickly if they reach out to you looking for a new document or a new something or other. That way, the faster you get stuff to them, the faster they can get you through underwriting, and the faster you get to your new home. This part can be kind of stressful, and it can seem, if the lender is scrambling a little bit, maybe they weren't prepared or they just missed something earlier, this can be the most in-depth and stressful part because you're constantly having to gather things. So hopefully your lender is able to just give you one comprehensive list right out of the gate. You can get it all to them, they have what they need, and boom, you're done. That's the dream scenario. Step number 5, appraisal and inspection. The appraisal is more of a lender thing, and the inspection is more of a the client thing. The appraiser will go out there, and what they do is they make sure that the home is actually worth the amount of money that the lender is giving you to buy it. If it comes back that the home is worth less, then that's kind of a red flag, and often they'll work with your realtor to try and maybe rework the offer or figure something out there to make it work. Because if the lender's giving you more money than the home is worth, and then they had to turn around and sell it in a few months because if you went on default or for whatever reason, then they're kind of losing out on money. But if the appraiser comes back and says, hey, it's actually worth more than they're buying it for, that's kind of a win, because as soon as you close, you've already made equity in the home. You've already made some profit. So that's the appraiser side. The inspection is for you, and it is optional technically but it's usually very recommended, and the realtor can kind of help you figure that out. If it's maybe a competitive market, then maybe, yeah, waiving inspection is worth it to try and just get the home. But usually it's good to have it in there, because what they do, if they find any issues, you can have the seller fix it before you even move in, before you buy the home, and it comes out of their pocket. If you don't get an inspection and you move in and 6 months later there's a big issue, then that's just kind of on you, and you're just kind of stuck with it. And it's something maybe you could have known beforehand. So it's very important to get your inspection done so you know exactly what you're walking into, exactly what you're buying. And the appraiser, that will have to happen. It's a requirement by the lender, and that just kind of protects us on our sides of things. Step number 6, loan approval and closing disclosures. Now, if everything has gone well and smoothly so far, your appraisal is done, your inspection's done, you're through underwriting, this is when you get that final, you're clear to close, your loan is good, and here is your closing disclosure. The closing disclosure is kind of your final document to lay out, all the details of your loan, the monthly payment, your mortgage insurance if you have it, the loan program, just all the details involved in there. So it's kind of your final opportunity to look through it all and make sure, yes, this is exactly what I want. Don't be afraid to ask your lender questions on it, or if something doesn't look right, then you need to speak up on it before you sign that final paperwork. Step number 7, closing. Finally, you have made it through everything. You get to go to the title office, you get to sign that paperwork, and you are now a homeowner. Oftentimes your lender may even meet you there, your real estate agent might meet you there, and they get to just be there just in case questions arise, or even just to celebrate with you. You'll often get the keys there, or sometimes you'll just get it later on if maybe the seller wanted to stay in the home for a few more days to finish moving out. It's a case-by-case basis, and your realtor will be able to help you with that one when you get the keys to your new home. But that is it for all the steps. But before we go, there are a few things I just wanted to go back over, some of the key takeaways to remember when you go through the mortgage process. And the first one being, don't be overwhelmed by the documentation. Just go into it knowing that you're going to have to provide, W-2s, pay stubs, bank statements, sometimes your tax returns, sometimes some other papers as well, just like rental history and things like that. If you go into it knowing and expecting that you'll have to provide all that, it's a lot less overwhelming and a lot less stressful too. Another thing is, don't do any major financial changes during this process. Don't go buy a car, don't switch your jobs, don't get a personal loan. Anything like that can really blow the whole deal apart, and you might have to go back and restart the whole thing, or even fix a credit thing or something like that, depending on what the changes that you made. So just be careful, make sure you talk to your lender before you do anything crazy like that. And third, just don't overestimate the home inspection. I know there's the fee that comes up front, but the peace of mind it provides really outweighs that fee, in my opinion, and it can really save you a lot of headache down the road. Finally, communication is key. Always keep your lender in the loop, your realtor, the title company, any professional involved in there, and usually they'll do a good job of keeping each other in the loop, emailing and all that sort of thing. But on your part, just make sure that you're always responding as quick as you can. You're honest and upfront with any issues you may see or you may have, just to make sure that they know what's going on, and make sure they let you know what's going on. They should be keeping you in the loop too. And if they're not, then just kind of call them out on that and request that you'd like to be kept in the loop. Because it is your money, it's your home you're buying, and they're here to help you, and you should be a team working through the whole process. Well, that is it for today's video. I hope you find this information helpful and can help take away some of the mystery, some of the stress that can be involved in the mortgage process. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help me out. If you have any ideas or questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.